Mets games together this year. And I'll start with this, and then I'll let you give your intro. When we were hanging out in April and May, and maybe even the last time I saw you when it was like Mets Marlins.
Right.
We never would have pictured this was gonna happen. Like this is like rock bottom, like worst case scenario. Like because the Mets were 21 games over 500. We were seeing them sweep teams. They're winning every series almost at home. They were great at home, and then it just like once it went past like mid June, the bottom kind of fell out.
Yeah, I mean that's one way to put it. I mean, but if you're gonna point the finger anywhere, I would say that it has to be with the starting rotation because even when the Mets were good, right? And I hope nobody gets this misconstrued, but June 12th, the Mets were the best team in baseball. They had the
Yep.
best record in baseball. They were number one in almost every pitching statistic. They allowed the fewest runs. They were allowing the fewest home runs. They were getting it done on the pitching side. And I feel like it would be a little naive to say, well, they were just, they put their arms behind their backs and they were just, relaxing at the beach because the pitching was so good. But no, because even then there were signs that, you need this to go right because Manaya was on his way back, Montas was on his way back, and Kodai Senga just hurt his hamstring. So when you look at it now, right, season's over, Mets are home, they're going to go to Cancun now and just watch the postseason.
Man,
Um,
I have a funny joke about that later, but I'll let you
right.
go first. Hold on.
No, but unfortunately, when you look at it, and I like Jeremy Hefner, right? You
Me
spoke with
too.
Jeremy Hefner
I
during the
like him as well.
season. He was a very nice guy all year long, but unfortunately, baseball is a business that can chew up nice guys.
Uh
And
huh.
Jeremy Hefner is, unfortunately going to bear the brunt of this, in my opinion, because it is unacceptable for starting pitching to be as bad as it was in this, from June 13th on. It just, you can't, you can't say, well, you can't blame him because the starters weren't performing. Well, it's your job to get them ready. It's
Right.
your job to make sure that they are prepared to go the way. So when you're in those pitchers meetings and you're relaying this message to the manager in the front office, they're relying on your analysis. They're relying on you and your expertise to tell them, yeah, this man is ready to go or that man is ready to go. And the truth is, I don't think Sean Manaea was healthy all year long. I don't think Frankie Montas was ready to come up when he was. And those things they
I
reflect
hated that
now.
move, by the way. And I told you that when it happened. I hated the Montas move. I
Exactly.
thought it was terrible.
And the truth is in that deal, while very confusing to me because it was confusing, I gave David Stearns the benefit of the doubt
He earns it
because
for
it
2023.
exactly like he earned it. He earned the benefit of the doubt. So did Mendoza, and but unfortunately, the coaches are going to get the brunt of that storm because when you look at the hitting coach, you know, Eric Chavez, though the best players performed the best on the team, you know, the messages on Instagram, the going back and forth with fans, that's going to reflect poorly on you, right? Because
Yeah.
there's no way, you make these trades for whoever it is or they bring up whoever it is. Like Jared Young had a great AAA season, you know?
Yep.
He didn't perform when he was up here.
Right.
Cedric Mullins is a veteran center fielder. There's no excuse as to why. Perfect example. Game against the Nationals. Cedric Mullins is caught in between his brain, standing between first and second when Dalen Lyles got hurt in the outfield. There's no reason why you should be standing between first and second. You should be running until either your coaches tell you to stop
That's a good
or
point.
the out is called. So there's no reason why he should have stopped running. And that to me right there was the nail in the coffin for the season.
Bro, that's a good point because we'll get to all that stuff too. So then they lost 2 or 3 to the Nationals, completely unacceptable. Cannot happen when you're in a playoff race. Just cannot, especially at
Right.
home, and completely embarrassing. And then the Marlins, 5-7 from the Marlins. That can't happen. I know they're better than we thought. I know they're close to 500, and the Mets have a problem with the Marlins down the stretch. It's like if you go back to 07, 08, like the Marlins love to ruin the Mets' plans. Like it's their World Series was knocking the Mets out, and they accomplished their goal.
Exactly. And it's crazy because when you look at the Mets versus the Marlins in 2024, right? Um, I don't think it was as bad as it was this season.
Yeah, what was the
Um,
what was the total record? I just know those recent ones. I know it was definitely a losing record, obviously.
so the Mets were 7-6 against the Marlins last season.
Yeah, the last year it was fine. Yeah,
So, you
what was
know,
the record this year though? Like, do you know?
um, and the record this season was 6-7.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
So that's the difference right there. And it should have been the Mets should have won more because they had a way better offensive talented team than they did last season. And I want to talk about the offense for the Mets for a second, if you may allow me to,
Of
because
course, yeah. I mean, this is an
there's
open channel, bro. We're gonna do whatever. So this is
right.
we're running this, so like you can say whatever you want.
So I've been hearing from a lot of Met fans, and listen, as much as it gets annoying sometimes, I love me some Met fans, man, because it's a very inspired bunch. You know, it's like the Rudy movie, on replay when it comes to Met fans. It's the underdog story every single time. Even though this season there was no excuse, $340 million, you're not an underdog. You got to win, but there was a lot of talk and a lot of conversation about Jose Iglesias, Jose Quintana, and Harrison Bader, who now plays for the Phillies.
Yes, I heard a lot of my Met fans wanted Bader instead
Right.
of
Now,
Mullins.
the only one I would argue is for Jose Quintana,
Yeah,
right?
that was a miss. You should have
And
brought him back.
and
It
hold
wouldn't have
on,
costed a lot of money either. That's the other thing.
hold on.
Go ahead.
Now,
Go ahead.
let's start with Jose Quintana. Jose Quintana had a very, very uninspiring first half of the year last year
Yep.
until the second half. From August on to September, he was 6-0 with a microscopic ERA and eventually ended up getting a win against the Brewers. And to be honest with you, there was no indication to me that maybe he would do that again this year, right?
I think
So
that was the issue because you know how they look at their data. That was an analytical move not to bring him back.
because
That's 100% a computer move.
right, but then look at Sean Manaea, right? He had a magnificent season last year. He earned every bit of the $75 million contract he earned with the option.
I
But look at how
agree.
that turned out, right? So
Injuries,
if
yeah.
they sign Quintana and Quintana ends up being not good, oh, then well, why did they sign Quintana? Why didn't they sign Corbin Burns? Why didn't they go after Max Fried? Now, Max Fried is the only one. Now, there might be some others, I don't know. But to me, from the outside looking in, Max Fried was the only starting pitcher that was available in the offseason that performed at an all-star ace caliber level. Corbin Burns ended up hurt. Blake Snell ended up hurt. And both of those got big-time contracts,
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to agree with you there. The Yankees made out very well with Max Fried. They
Yes.
they needed him after Soto left to kind of soften that blow, and it worked out. And we'll get to that whole Soto Yankees, like all that stuff's coming. But the only thing I would counter with, I think you would agree with me. I know it was a tough market, but you guys had to dip into the prospect pool to try to get a starting pitcher somehow. You had to
Right.
address the starting rotation better at the deadline. Like getting nobody was literally shocking to me.
Right. And that again goes is going to go on the report card for Hefner because when you're at the trade deadline and you're having these conversations with your coaches, with your manager, and they're hey, I think we're good. No, that's where you got to be brutally honest. You have to. That's the moment, the point in time, because when you look at it, where the Mets were at that time, they were if they would have won the series, a 4-game series against the Phillies, they would have been in good position to even win the division. So when you look at that, okay, they didn't go after Duran, they went after Helsley. That was not a bad move. It turned out to be bad because he pitched horribly.
Yeah, I could support the Helsley move at the time as well.
Exactly. And I could, because when you look at his track record, he was one of the best relievers in all of baseball over the last few seasons. So you can't, okay, yes. Did it turn out to be horrible? Of course. You got to bite the bullet on that one. Cedric Mullins, okay, I get it. They should have, in my opinion, gone with a better option for center field if that was the case. Now, there was a lot of talk and a lot of conversation about trading Trent Grisham.
Yeah, this stuff is interesting. This is really interesting stuff because Beatty's a guy I've told you that I think would be a good Yankees fit
And I've
several
said that
times.
too. If anybody, go back and you see my Subway Series preview that I did with Pinstripe Territory. Shout out to my guy from Pinstripe Territory, Derek Lewandowski, man, does a great job over there. All the people at Foul
Oh,
Territory.
I've done pods with Derek too, so I'm friendly with him too, and I definitely like him.
And we had that conversation where we talked. He was like, "Listen, man, I like Brett Beatty," and I was telling him that the season that Trent Grisham is having was fantastic. Now, if that was a move that the Mets and Yankees would have made, honestly, as much as I love Brett Beatty and I would have hated to see him leave, in hindsight, looking at it now, Trent Grisham ended up with 30 home runs, 30 plus. That probably should have happened. They probably should have did
Yeah,
that.
there's only one caveat to that. I think this was only if Judge was going to get Tommy John, though. Like, this was like the Yankees' worst case scenario. Like, season's over, Judge is cooked. I don't think they would have pulled the trigger, since Judge wasn't, and because they got lucky. It could have been worse with Judge. He ended up being okay. So, he might have to get in the offseason. Who knows? But at least he can hit. So,
So I
that's
would ask.
important.
So I would ask you this: is it more reflective on if he was going to get Tommy John surgery, or the confidence that they had in Jason Dominguez being an everyday left fielder?
Well, here's my thing with that. I'm actually really not happy with how they're handling Dominguez, and I think Austin Slater was a wasted move. And if he starts tomorrow, I'm going to lose my mind because he's supposed to hit lefties. He hasn't done it yet. He struck out 3 times in Garrett Crochet. I do not want to see Austin Slater starting tomorrow. I will go nuts if he starts tomorrow. Grisham has to be in there. Like, Grisham should not be benched for Austin Slater. So that would be a terrible decision.
So
But
I would put I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
ahead, you're good.
I would put this out in the stratosphere for the offseason. What about Brett Beatty for Jason Dominguez? Would the Yankees say no to that? Like a hard look, like, okay,
Wow.
the Yankees had a season to really,
That's
okay,
interesting.
do we want him? Do we need him? The Mets need a center fielder. They will put him back in his natural center field position. That's a move I think both teams should
That's an
truly
interesting
consider.
one. The only caveat is that the Yankees traded for McMahon, who I don't really love that much, and now he's under contract for 2 more years. I mean, his defense is good, but
Second base.
his McMahon's really third. He's an excellent defense.
No,
Oh,
no, no. I
Brett.
mean,
Oh,
like Brett
Brett.
Beatty at second, because their Jazz Chisholm is going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and
No,
he's going to get money.
No, Jazz has more time. It's not
Oh, he has
yet.
more time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So then,
I don't
yeah.
know. Unfortunately, unless they did something with McMahon somehow, and then I would prefer. If you're asking me right now, I would take Brett Beatty 10 times out of 10 over Ryan McMahon. Like, that's not even a question or
Can
conversation.
McMahon play first?
You're gonna like McMahon. No, I'm not saying to send him to the Mets.
No. I mean, like, can the Yankees move, or is Ben Rice the option at first base for the future?
It could be Ben, could be Bellinger if you pull him in and get him to do something with the outfield if Belly returns. Because my thing is, like, I feel like Belly's going to return. I think Grisham's going to walk because the Yankees won't want to do another Aaron Hicks situation like we talked about. But I do think Grisham actually makes sense for the Mets too, potentially. I know you're a little bit weary, but I actually think he could make some sense. If you don't have to go 5 years, if you get him for like 3 in high AAV, maybe you could try that. I think he would be a good fit with the Mets, honestly.
If he's willing to take the lesser deal, because the way I look at it, right? I mean, if we're going to talk about who's moving where and doing what, if you tell me here's 2 contracts, you have Cody Bellinger to play center field, you have Trent Grisham to play center field, I'm like, who's going to take the more sensical contract, which is like Cody Bellinger's not going to get a long term deal right now. I don't think he's going to want that though because he's a Scott Boras
Yeah,
client, right?
Bellinger might get 4 or 5 because he's really played well this year. The reason why I think Belly's a better Yankees fit is because the versatility to play first base, which the Yankees might need.
Right.
I also think that since he's left-handed and like I mean Grish is too, but I don't know. I feel like Belly's just like I feel like his swing's made for the stadium. Like, do I trust? I probably trust Belly more going forward than I would Grisham. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, I feel like I have a better floor with Bellinger going forward, where Grisham might not fully maintain it. So Bellinger's proven to be a better player throughout the course of his career too.
Okay. Well, going back to the Met side of things, something's going to have to be done, right?
Yeah.
We already talked about Jeremy Hefner. There's gonna have to be very
He might
serious,
end up going, unfortunately. I think Chavez is gone. I saw
right?
Andy Martino tweeted out that the coaching staff's getting cleaned out.
Yeah, and he hinted at that yesterday, and he's not gonna hint at that if there isn't
It's
something to it. And
yeah, it's gonna happen. We know it's
right.
happening.
I would tell Met fans. I understand a lot of Met fans are very ick when it comes to Andy Martino. He's a great guy.
I
I
like
got to
Andy
know Andy
too.
Martino this
Me
year.
too. Me too.
He's solid. He's
And
solid.
he's really good with Yankees too. People like they
Right.
question him with Yankees, but he's connected with the front office. Has a good relationship with
Both of
Cashman.
them. Because he's
Yeah,
doing, for most of the people who don't know, he did a book with Brian Cashman.
I gotta get that one still, but I will
Um,
at some point.
and it was a good book. I didn't get through it completely, but it's a good book. He did one with Brian Cashman, and he's going to release one soon with the Mets, kind of just talking about the transition from Will Ponds to Cohen's and stuff like that. So, but if anyone knows pretty much what's going on, he's solid. Listen, not everybody's going to get everything right 100% of the time, right? I
His
mean,
track record is pretty good. It has to be like 90 plus lately.
right?
Like I know people used to dog him earlier in the time, but like the last couple of years, he's been like he's up there, especially in our
Right.
area. Like
And
he's breaking news for Yankees and Mets. Like he's getting it done, and I think he's extremely credible. He's proven it. Yeah, no one's perfect. Even Passon and Kenny make mistakes. Like everyone's had their bugaboos. Like
right.
Feinstein, like they've all had their mess ups. Like Bob obviously has way too many. Heyman has like his Heyman has.
He get it. Listen,
I love Bob actually. Bob is
it
chill as
gets
hell. Honestly, I met him before. I
all
actually think he's
these.
a great dude. But like
Listen, all these dudes. Don't get me wrong. All of these
Heyman,
guys
like
are good.
Sherman, like they've all had their mess ups. Even Jeff has had a few.
Right. Then there's a method when you talk about a lot of these
I've
guys
had
that
them before. I've gotten things wrong. Like
right. And listen, these guys are solid. We've seen them work. You've seen it. I've seen it. We've seen them do their job, and they are very, very serious when it comes to the work that they do. And they have these relationships. They have these connections, whether it be with boards, whether it be with front offices, whoever it is. The facts are the facts. They have these relationships, and they're going to lean on them to go ahead and do their jobs. So going back to the Andy Martino part, he did hint at the Mets getting rid of the coaches and kind of really starting over when it comes to coaches. Now, I'm going to say this is the reason why, right? When they hired Mendoza, they didn't change the coaches.
yeah, that's
They
true.
kept Hefner, they kept Eric Chavez. And those weren't the choices from Mendoza didn't choose those guys, right?
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
I think let Mendoza choose some people that he trusts,
Once,
right?
yeah.
Because listen, if he's gonna go down with the ship, they're going down with him. So I think let him
Yeah,
choose his guys.
his seat is on fire next year. By the way, his seat is
Oh,
burning next
yeah,
year.
it's
He's
it's it's lit up.
his seat is burning next year.
It's
And I
definitely lit
do
up.
agree with you. It was the right decision to bring him back. I know a lot of Met fans want their pound of flesh, but it's not. It should not
No,
have been him. We got to be sensical here because he was amazing last year. Could have been manager of
right.
the year, honestly, if it wasn't for Pat Murphy. But
We see like look at the Giants, right? They go and they trade for Bob Melvin, and then they fire Bob
the
Melvin
Giants are
after
a
1 year.
circus, man. And Devers went off for them too. It wasn't even his fault. Like he figured it out late.
Exactly.
But it's like the Giants are a mess. Like I don't know what's going on out there. But
Exactly. So
it happens. I mean, with Mendy, I think he'll be fine. Yeah, I agree with you. Let him pick his guys. If he's gonna be on the seat, you gotta let him have his options, whatever he wants to do. Just let him take the whole staff.
Because
and we
at
go
this
from
point,
there.
if you trust him enough to okay, this is the guy that's going to lead the team to the promised land, you got to let him, just like David Stearns had his options and his choice to pick his manager and let Buck Showalter walk. I think you got to let Mendoza pick the guys that are going to either go down with him, because that's the truth. I mean, if whatever coaches come in next year, if the Mets falter again, they're all gone. They're cleaning
Yes,
house.
exactly. It's going
You
to be a
know,
house cleaning.
David Stearns, in my opinion,
His team should be hot too, if we're being honest, after his mess ups with the pitching this year.
but he has a track record, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And that to me, because I'll look at it like this, right? Do you think that the Yankees are going to fire Aaron Boone if they don't win a championship?
I'll tell you what I think. That's different than what I think is different than what they would do probably. I think
No, no. Well, right, so
okay,
let's
okay.
first let's go with what you think will happen, and then
Okay,
you tell
okay.
me what they're going to do.
Okay, so I think like here's the deal. Not like if they lose against Boston, I think it has to be considered. Let's start there. But I don't think if they make the DS or the CS, I don't think he will get fired. Would I personally get rid of him at this point after all these years of winning a World Series? Yeah, I probably would at this point. If they fail in the playoffs again, because here's some things that's interesting. And then Nitin saying what's up to you too. Nitin, what's up,
Oh, what's
bro?
up?
He's a good friend of mine. He does a lot of content too. Yeah, still can't believe what happened to the Mets. This collapse was crazy. Yeah, it
It
really
was.
was,
It
bro. It really
was.
was. It was really, unfortunately, it was like a ticking time bomb. It was just like slowly, like each month just like getting worse and worse and worse until it hit its rock bottom at 162.
Yeah.
Like to get shut out by the Marlins when your season's on the line is a complete embarrassment. Like what? How does that happen? Like the Marlins were hungry. It looked like they wanted to win more, and that's crazy to me.
And I think the focus going forward should be, because they have the guys that are going to get the runs across. Do you understand how many runs how many RBIs together if you put Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, and Brandon Nimmo together?
I'm gonna guess you're at least close to 400.
Close, very close to 400. When you got four guys driving in almost 400 runs, I'm sorry, you need guys to set the table. You need the bottom of the order to set the
That's
table.
what killed them. The bottom of the order was trash.
And listen,
Absolutely horrible.
I give the Heart and Hustle Award to Francisco Alvarez, because what that guy was
I
able to
feel
do.
bad for Alvarez with all the injuries going to hit over and over again. I'm not going to put this on him. Like it was
No, absolutely
his
not.
season was really rough. Like I pulled up the spring training, he was in a cast, and then he
Yeah.
just kept getting hit, and he just couldn't find it because like there was little spurts that were good, but he never had consistent enough time, and he was fully healthy. Like we talked about, Mark Vientos was the biggest disappointment on the team by far.
Yeah,
In the
I
lineup,
think
like really
it
bad
was
season
really,
from him.
yeah. This was he took a step back in the sense of, look, he still ended up with 17 home runs. If he would have had a good first 3 months of the season,
Yeah, he did kind of pick it up late, but it was too late,
too
unfortunately.
late. It was way too late by the time he really turned it around. He had to get sent down. He had to get humbled. Listen, at the end of the day, there are going to be very serious conversations to be had about this team and this roster going forward as far as the bottom of the order, because you need to be concrete with what you're going to do with these guys. You cannot have the revolving door with every single day, no consistency, because that's what these guys are going to fall on. Well, it wasn't consistent for me. There were days where I would be hot, and then the next day, like I remember JD Davis said that, and that pissed me off. You want to know why? Because I'm like, look, at the end of the day, you're a Major League Baseball player. And listen, I'm not out there every day, so I understand that there's things about the game that I don't get, but you cannot blame inconsistencies and why you're inconsistent.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like Soto was kind of like when I listened to the presser yesterday, and someone asked Soto a question. He's like, "What happened? Like, why did this team not make it?" And Soto's like, "It's just baseball." I'm like, "No, dude. Like, take accountability for it. Like, something's really messed up." I was like, he was like, Soto's always nonchalant about it. He's never gonna give you like a real answer.
Oh
But
no,
like,
no,
he
no,
needs
no.
to be more. He needs to take accountability too, because like he played a great season. I don't think it's his fault, but like something like in that clubhouse. Let's get to that. What's
It's
going on in that clubhouse and like the front office? There's
I just
something's
I
awry.
okay, so I'm glad you brought this up. So Juan Soto, his answers. Let's remember here. He's gone to the school of Scott Boras media training, right?
Yeah, he's not gonna
So
give you nothing.
he's not gonna get like Pete Alonso came out yesterday and said, "Listen, I'm opting out." Guess who did that last year? Juan Soto. He said the same thing. Listen, I'm opting out. Whatever team is ready to step up, we here to talk. Like you get what I mean? So this is
Yeah, because
there's a
he's with
theme
Boris too
there.
now. So yeah,
Right. So there's a way that these Boris clients talk. So I'm listen.
Garrett Cole did it too after the Astros thing.
So at the end of the day, I'm not even putting stock into whatever Juan Soto's saying at this point. Now I get it because you listen, you're getting paid all this money, and you know, he's never been that outspoken guy. I'm gonna
No,
Manny Machado this, and I'm gonna take over a clubhouse. Juan Soto's never been in that position to
no,
take
no,
over a
that's not what
clubhouse.
I want him to do. But like,
Right.
I would have liked him to take a little more. I didn't feel
Of
listen to what,
course,
but
of
I
course.
didn't
But he's
like
not going to
the.
throw his teammates under
Yeah,
the bus.
yeah,
So
I
his
get
thing is
it.
like, listen, if
Yeah,
I do this, I'm throwing my teammates under the bus
yeah.
because he's come out and said multiple times I had a couple teammates that really didn't have my back and I didn't appreciate that. Like he's been on the record with that So at the end of the day, I'll say this. I'm not looking at Juan Soto to give me reasons why the team faltered. I'm
That's
looking at
fair.
Brandon Nimmo. I'm looking at Francisco Lindor. Those are the two guys I'm looking at because at the end of the day, one, Nimmo's been a Met the
I
longest.
think Alonso gave a good answer
Alonso did,
yesterday.
but then Alonso's going to give you the answer of someone who's ready for free
Well,
agency.
that's the thing, yeah. And then Nemo kind of said something too. I think like that was unacceptable or something.
Right.
I was like,
And then and
he
Lindor
kind of
said,
owns
and,
it,
and
yeah.
Lindor owned it too. Like, listen, I failed, which in hindsight he did. It was his double play that ended the season. So at the end of the day, going forward, it's listen. Lindor is going to be the captain of the team eventually. And I want there to be. I need this to be nipped in the bud. Whether Lindor has to do it, whether Soto has to do it, there needs to be no tension of, well, who's the leader of the team? This is Juan Soto versus Francisco Lindor. This is Puerto Rico versus Dominican Republic. I don't need that because there's already been a lot of talk, a lot of that kind of talk and going back and forth with, the Spanish reporters and, oh, well, Juan Soto it has to be the leader because he's getting paid more. When over Cisco Lindor has to be the leader because he's been here and he's proved. Listen, at the end of the day, whoever it is, they need to nip that in the bud. So if they're gonna name Francisco Lindor captain, do it early so we don't have this issue, right? Of well, who's gonna be the team leader?
Yeah,
Who's
what
because
he
we
was,
never had that
yeah.
issue. Look at across town with Stanton and Judge. There's never been like, oh, okay, who's the better? Stan has better numbers in the in the postseason than Judge.
And we're gonna
But
get there.
right, is anybody gonna look at Aaron Judge like, hey man, is Stanton the leader or you the leader? No, right? They named him captain. They gave him that title. Now there was a couple times this year where Aaron Judge really needed to show that captaincy, that bravado of like, hey, let's turn it around. Like he did it with Marcus Stroman. I get that. Which is crazy kind of thinking of it. The Yankees made the postseason. Marcus Stroman is like they let
Yeah,
him go. Like that was a whole failed experiment within itself. But
yeah.
it's like, they don't have that issue with Stanton and Judge. We should not have this issue here with Lindor and Soto. And that's the best comp that I can put.
That's a
Now,
good
obviously,
one.
we know that Soto is better than Lindor because he's the younger player. He's gonna put up the bigger numbers, MVP type numbers. But they have to figure out a way to like, listen, we're not gonna let this drama unfold next year. They can't.
Okay, so Nippin's asking about Alonso and Edwin Diaz. So, what does your gut tell you? Is Pete Alonso returning? And if he does not return, who's the biggest threat for his services, do you think?
I'm going to say because remember last year, Pete Alonso was a little bit
last year was
more.
last year was a circus.
Right. He didn't
Absolute
want to
circus.
he took the right path. He didn't take the path he took this year. Last year he was more like, and he said the same thing. I want to be here. I want to be a Met, but he left that last little message of I hope they view me the same way, which is more like, okay, so we're not doing this again. It's pretty much what Pete Alonso's saying. So I
Yeah,
expect this to be wrapped up quickly.
it's
So
either
they're
yes or
either
no.
going to be
Yeah,
yes or no. There's no in between with these guys because listen, at the end of the day, Bregman is going to be available too because he's probably going to opt out, get a bigger contract. That's just how these things work with these Boris clients. So I don't expect him to opt in. Now, he can opt in. I wouldn't be shocked if he does. Maybe he just likes it in Boston, but something has to be done. We cannot have
wait, what guy
a
were you saying for the opt-in to Boston?
Bregman.
Oh, Bregman. He's gonna. Yeah, he might opt out. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to opt out. But as far as the Mets, let's not get off track here. I think that he is not going to come back, and not because the Mets don't want it to. And I hope I'm wrong, but I was on this too last year. They're
Last year was really close to losing him. It was
right.
really close to losing him.
It was really close to losing him. The owner was really frustrated with that. You saw his comments at Amazing Day where he was, didn't like the booze or whatever. So look, at the end of the day, there's going to be a resolution. It's going to happen fast. If I had to put my money on it, and hey, you listen, you can end my career early if you want to, if I'm wrong, because
No, you're
if I'm
good. Don't
wrong,
worry. Don't
listen,
worry.
if I'm wrong, that means Pete Alonso's coming back. So I would rather be wrong than be right. Let me just make that clear. But I just
Okay.
don't think that he's going to come back. I think he's going to take a contract. He wants a bigger contract. I don't think the Mets are going to invest heavy as far as years, maybe money, yes, but years, no. So I just think listen, when you look at a team, oh God, I hate saying this, especially after what happened, but you look at a team like the Reds, you look at a team like the
Yeah.
Pirates. I mean, you get what I'm saying? I mean,
Well, you
it's
think? I don't think the Pirates will spend any money. I don't worry about them. Maybe the
well
Reds might make
when
some. The Reds might
when
make some sense. So
so look at this, right? So Paul Skeens came out and said, we got to do something. So
he
when your
did.
best player comes out and says, we need to do something, I think the Pirates are going to try. And I think by trying, I think, okay, they'll sign Pete Alonso and then they'll just figure everything else out. Like that's their effort of trying. Um, but I mean, I don't know, man. I think the Mets like Ryan Clifford. Um, and if Pete Alonso is gone, I think that is the first baseman of the future. So I'm not saying I want him gone. I don't. I want him to stay. But if you ask me now, as we sit here today, it's September 29th. I think they're gonna just okay. You got the Mets record, you got all the pageantry, all the love. Here's the contract, take it or leave it. And I think he's just gonna say, all right, I'm gone.
I disagree. I actually think he's coming back.
I hope so.
So here's why I think he returns. Because you could say that stuff about Ryan Clifford, but like the Mets offense needs to gain more production. If you take him out, how are you replacing him? Like, what are you gonna do? If
Kyle
you unless
Schwarber.
you, yeah, but I think he's going back to Philly. The Phillies are in on that.
We
Like,
don't we don't we don't know that yet. I mean, look, if I'm the
and
Mets,
also when you brought up the Reds, that's a team that's gonna go after Kyle because he's from that area. The Reds are gonna go do something because now the
they could
Reds
get
are.
both of them.
That'd be crazy. The Reds are building though. The Reds are building. They're gonna start spending more money.
Listen,
Like,
there's nothing. Listen, and I'm speaking directly, and I want Mariners fans, I want Pirates fans to hear me. These teams need to spend money. Stop with the thrift shopping. Stop with the penny
yeah.
pinching. Go
Although
for
I
it.
will say the Mariners actually did go for it finally with getting Suarez and Josh Naylor. That's a go for it to
But
me.
Naylor's a free agent. Oh, that's another. I'm glad you brought that name up. Josh Naylor is someone. Look, and I get
That's
it.
not Naylor actually would be that's close to Alonso. That's kind
Right.
of close. That's not too far off.
It's not. And look, and the reason why I say this, and I understand. Listen, I love me some Polar Bear Pete. Listen, I love me Pete Alonso. I don't want him to go. But
Do you
I'm going to
think
look
there's
at
an
it.
issue with something of him not being like a winning player when you need him to be? I know he's had some big
No, no,
homers,
no,
but
no, no,
like
no, no, no. I can't say that when he did what he did against Milwaukee,
I
and then
shouldn't. Okay, maybe I shouldn't
no,
word it properly. I think it's
no,
like
no, no. They're fine.
in
That's a valid
certain
question.
in
Because people are gonna ask that question. Oh, is he a winning player? He
or
is.
does he just put up his numbers? But he has put up some good. He has had the good moments, like you said. The question to me is like sometimes I question his situational hitting isn't the best. Sometimes, like I feel
No,
like
and that's
that's the
perfect.
problem.
That's the perfect thing to say. His situational
That's
hitting
how I meant
isn't
to put
good,
it. That's kind of where I meant to go with
and
that.
when you got guys like Lindor and Soto, who I love them 1-2. First of all, because they were fiddling with that, right? With moving, they moved Lindor out of the number one spot for a while, and they gave it a Nimmo, and then they won. I hated that because you got to stick with it, and they ended up sticking with it later. They should have never moved off that. I like Lindor and Soto 1-2 because one, they know what to do in those spots. You get what I mean? They know what to do in those spots. So what I would do is listen. You saw what you saw with Beatty. There's no more options. You saw what you saw with Vientos. You got to figure that out. Mauricio has one more option for next year, but they need to make a decision. And if you ask me, okay, what are we gonna do? They need to get better with situational hitting.
Yeah,
Pete
their
Alonso,
wrist numbers were awful too.
right? Pete
And also,
Alonso,
how do you guys have? How did they have zero ninth inning comebacks? That's absurd.
because exactly when you look
Well,
at
that's
those ninth inning
situational. Well, that's
comebacks,
situational
the
hitting. There you go.
situational,
Situational
exactly.
hitting. There it
Now,
is.
listen, Soto's going to do his job. He'll get the walk. He'll get the base hit when he needs it. Listen, it's not going to come every time, and you can't kill him for that.
Yeah,
Shohei
no.
Ohtani's not going to produce every single time in that situation. He's going to do it more often than he should, and Soto should have early on in the season. But listen, when you look at the overall product, he had a great year. But
There's only one thing though. There still was never a signature moment for Soto. As crazy as it is,
no,
there was no signature moment. There
no.
wasn't one. There was no walk off. Like,
But this is someone who's never had a walk-off home run in his career.
oh, that's crazy. Really, he's never had one at all. It's nuts.
I don't think he's, unless I'm bugging out. I don't know if he had one with
I
San
have to
Diego.
check. I have to check. That's real. You might be right. That's a
But
curious case.
I
But
don't.
actually, he did. But let's go back in time.
He had walk-off hits,
Yeah. Well,
but
he had
home
he had
runs.
the game-winning homer for the Yankees last year in the playoffs.
But
It
it wasn't
wasn't
a
a walk-off because
walk-off.
it wasn't home. You're right.
Wasn't a
And then in
walk-off.
the World Series, he kills it against the Astros. He's a big part of the reason why they won the World Series. But it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
walk-off because they didn't win any home games. So you maybe he doesn't have
Nope.
one
Juan
actually.
Soto has never hit a walk-off home run.
I learned something new today.
He's never had a. So that's the reason why I'm like, listen, don't kill him for that. He's never done it. Listen, you know what's crazy? I'm going to tell you a crazy stat. Jose Batista, right, who was successful, right? He hit his first walk-off home run as a Met.
Oh wow, yeah. Because
Now, Grand Slam, I think. No, his first Grand Slam. I think it was a Grand Slam. Wasn't a walk-off home because he did that walk-off home run with the.
the bat flip and everything.
Wait, the
in it.
bat flip. Was it that a walk-off? Was it a
I don't know
walk-off?
if it was a walk off. I gotta check. Like I have to check.
Hold on. Because some guys, my point I'm trying to make.
I think it iced the game for the Blue Jays, but I don't know if it ended it. I think it like basically it clinched it for them. Yeah, no, you're right. I saw that. You were right. The Grand Slam was his first career walk-off homer in 2018. So that
Exactly.
was like a game-winning homer kind of
But
deal. I think.
there
The bat flip was like a game-winning homer, basically.
there are some guys who just don't hit walk-off home runs. Now, should he have hit a couple 3-run home runs to really like give the Mets the lead in the road and do it? Yes. But I'm not gonna say. I'm sorry. I just can't sit here and blame him for the Mets being 0 and almost 70 in the ninth inning.
That is
I
nuts.
just
Yeah,
can't
no, it's
because
not
they're
really on him. I do agree.
right. There are
mainly,
9
so.
guys there that could have. Any one of them could have did it, and none of them did. So I'm not gonna sit there and blame him for that. But I will say this: one note on Pete Alonso, right? Because I know everything is like the home run. Shohei Ohtani has hit 50 home runs more than once.
Yep.
Judge has hit 50 home runs more than once,
4.
right? 4 times. Schwarber, I think this is his second season hitting 50 home run. I don't know if he hit 50 last year. No, I think he hit like 40 something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
he has at least
almost, right?
2. He has at least 2, yeah.
Pete Alonso hasn't hit 50 home runs since his rookie season. And that season, remember, in 2019, there were juiced baseballs.
Juice ball.
So
yeah.
he's never hit 50 home runs since that rookie season. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Pete Alonso only did it because it was juice balls. Listen, he got the rookie record for home runs at 50, was it 54 or 56?
So it was 52 or 3, wasn't it?
Something like that, right? But so he got that. He earned that, hands down. But he's never done it since. Now, 40 home runs. He didn't do it this year.
No,
He's only done it, I think, twice in his career. He's hit 30 home runs multiple times.
Which is solid, obviously.
Which is, of course. But when we think of Pete Alonso, we think, oh, man, this guy's hit 50 home runs multiple times. He's only done it once.
Yeah, and it is crazy. But I want to transition to something else. Let's go to another guy who's even more important, Edwin Diaz.
He's the most important, perfect thing. Most important player that the Mets need to bring back is Edwin Diaz. And now you told me yesterday that, he is no threat to go to the Yankees because they have Bednar and all that. But I don't want to see him, sign a contract to pitch for another team.
The Yankees don't do the high contract relievers anymore.
Right.
That's the thing. They switched off that because it kind of burned them a little bit. So they don't pay relievers big money anymore.
Now, here's the thing, though. Because if he opts out of this contract, he's going to want more than he's already making. He's already the highest paid closer
and
in baseball.
He's gonna win reliever.
He's
gonna win the reliever of the year award in the National League too.
So
and that helps his value even more.
Right. So now the good thing, I don't know if he's a Boras client.
I don't know. I don't know. So.
If he is,
I can check really quick, but I don't think.
But he said he's going to talk with his family. The Mets, they're like Fast and the Furious. Everything is family. Family first. So if he's going to talk with his family. I do think that he should get an extension. I think if that's on the table, I think he would take that. You can extend what he already has.
Interesting. Someone else did put Yankees with him. They say Yankees, Blue Jays, Braves, and Dodgers. Dodgers are definitely a threat. You better watch for them.
I don't want that.
You better watch for them.
If that happens, that is a 100% Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles. Like, I cannot. And I get it. We've seen, Edwin Diaz falter. We've seen him, struggle at his worst. That doesn't mean that's going to happen if he goes to a situation where he's going to be out there. And listen, he closed out the Phillies.
Yes,
bases loaded. Kyle Schwarber standing at the plate, and he closed them out. I think something wrong with your camera. I don't know if that's on my end or your end.
Oh, I got frozen somehow. What the hell? Yeah, I glitched. What the fuck? Shit. Hold on. Wait, no. Why? Yeah, why am I frozen? But you can hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear your camera's frozen.
Hold on. Okay, now this is getting weird. I don't know how we ended up here. Hold on. What the this sucks. Hold on. Okay. All right, this is really strange. This makes no sense. Hold on, I think it's trying to come back. Hold on, it's trying. I don't know. Hold on, let me put myself to the side. I could just talk you could just hold on. Let me get myself off. Yeah, it's being finicky now. Actually, no, yeah, let's, yeah. I don't understand what the fuck is happening here. All right, well, I'll give you the floor now, I guess, but this is really weird.
So
let me see if I can fix this.
All right, so I'll just kind of give some more thoughts on just how I felt the season kind of ended. And when you talk about the 2025 New York Mets, a lot of people, They go back to, hey, what happened in 2024, man? Where was that magic? Where was that, you know? But I want to take everybody down memory lane. Remember 2024 when the Mets were getting laughed at because they had all these gimmicks. Like, oh, they had Grimace and people were laughing. Like, so you get laughed at for gimmicks and then you get ridiculed for not having one in a season where you lose. So I hope Steve Cohen and the Mets listen to that message and they understand, be yourself. If the 2025 Mets have taught me anything or showed me anything this season, it's that they need to be themselves. Because look at what happens when you, like, I'm tired of everybody. Well, they want to emulate the model of the Los Angeles Dodgers, or they want to emulate when everybody was talking about, oh, they want to be the Dodgers East. I'm like, no, you want to have success like the Astros. You want to have success like the Braves in a sense. You want to be in the playoffs every single year, man, and you got to do it your way. So if that means Grimace is going to throw out the first pitch every single year on his birthday, guess what? Grimace is coming to Citi Field and he's throwing out the first pitch every single year for his birthday. If that means we gotta find a baseball player that can make music and, you know, have him perform or do a concert after the game, well, guess what? We're gonna find a baseball player, or they could find me for all we care, and we're gonna go out there. We're gonna do post game concerts every single time. Because at the end of the day, I hope they learn you need to be yourself, man. You cannot be. Listen, the Yankees don't do gimmicks, fine. Even though the roll call, despite what everybody else might think, that's a gimmick. That's their gimmick. That's their thing.
Yeah, but that's tradition, though.
Yes, and it's a gimmick, right? But it's a gimmick. It's a
All right,
Yankee thing.
all right, that's fair. That's fair.
It's a gimmick. I mean, look, I'm not, it's not a shot. It's not. Do I like? That's not my cup of tea. But listen, it's a Yankee thing, right? It's tradition. It's what happens. When I was a kid and we used to go to the bleacher creatures, you know, listen, we were doing it. So I'm not knocking them, but that's a gimmick. That's their thing. So if Grimace is coming out every single year for his birthday, if the Mets are playing in Citi Field for his birthday, guess what? He's throwing out the first pitch, Pop. And it has to, they have to stop with this, oh, but what if we get made fun of for, you know, for all these things? And, you know, they had the Hawk Tua girl throw out the first pitch and people were like, oh, how can you do that? But lo and behold, she was there because of charity, not because of Hawk Tua. Like, they need to stop worrying about what people are going to think about what they do in their ballpark and just do it and have fun for the fans. Because when you look at this season, they did a couple good things. They had Pablo Sanchez out there. He didn't even throw the first pitch. Come on, dog. Like, what are we doing? Like, everybody grew up playing backyard baseball. He should have been out there to throw the first pitch.
Yeah, I agree with you. Wait.
So I don't know. I just think, you know, my one hot take is look at last year and the energy and the magic that came with that, right? It was like that Jose Iglesias song. For everybody that don't know Spanish, it was just like for me, it was like lighting that sage and you were just performing an exorcism and letting all that bad juju out. That's what that song represented to a lot of those guys in that clubhouse. And yes, you know, but to go back and say, oh man, we needed Jose Iglesias back. Jose Iglesias is not even playing at a point to keep, you know, but the Padres still have him there. But it's not the same OMG Jose Iglesias.
Yeah, he lost the juju. That was with the Mets. Like,
right. Like, so if anything, he should have, you know, vouched to want to come back to the Mets. Now,
I think he did, but the Mets didn't want him back. I think that's how that went, right?
Because they had guys that they needed to give a chance to play, and they did that this year. And you know what? I really think they should have just listen. If it was Acuna, if it was Mauricio, if it was Beatty, if it was Vientos, the two of them should have been gone. Two of them should have been gone, and I expect two of them to be gone.
Yeah, I just like I have to say it's honestly like I would have brought Jose back too. I know he's another guy the computer doesn't
You
like. That's
can't like
another
the one
issue.
guy. All right, I'll say this. I'll say this right because the guy that the Mets should have brought back and should bring back. And this, I'm going to advocate for this. I'm going to advocate for this heavy. JD Martinez, man, bring him back as a hitting coach.
Yeah,
The
I
guy,
like
the guy
that.
has the tools to do it. Bring him back as a hitting coach. But I'll say this because I've been hearing a lot of rumors about Albert Pujols and whatever you're hearing. Yes, he 1,000% wants to pitch in the major leagues at some point next season.
What you mean he wants to be a hitting coach, Pujols?
No. He wants to be a manager.
Oh,
He
let's
wants
be a
to manage in
manager. Oh
Major
yeah,
League
they're saying
Baseball.
the Angels might take him or something. I think
Yes.
right.
I don't like what the Angels did. They should have been more transparent about what was going on with Ron Washington. I'm not saying like put his medical
Yeah.
history out there, but they should have been a little bit more like,
Well,
okay.
it's the Angels, bro. I mean, that's what they do, unfortunately.
You look at Bob Melvin. He's fired now. Listen, guys like Yadi Molina, guys like Albert Pujols, they're gonna get a shot. They're gonna get a shot, and you know, I just think I think that the Mets will. I don't know. They should be having a press conference here in about an hour and a half, so we'll find
Yeah,
out more about their direction and what they're gonna do. But I think they're gonna be done. They're gonna look for some new coaches, um, and they're gonna be Carlos Mendoza guys. And I think I will trust his gut with it because I'll tell you this. Clay Holmes came in from the Yankees last year, and with him came a Yankee coach, pitching coach. Like it was like a pitching assistant or whatever it was. I don't remember his name, but he was with the Yankees last year. And Clay Holmes had a good season.
yeah, I agree.
So I'm like, look, and that was a Carlos Mendoza move. He, was his call to bring this guy in. It was his call to bring in Gibbons as the bench coach, which Gibby is a good bench coach. I like his attitude. I like his, no nonsense. I like him. But I think new coaches need to come in um and see what happens because both Brooklyn and Binghamton won championships this year. The Mets are home.
Yeah,
The organization is doing fine. They were rated the number one
I
according to
did see.
ESPN
I did
as far as the
see.
minor league system.
Okay, yeah. And I like McLean's looked the part. He's going to be a legitimate frontline starter for you
And
guys.
Spro too. Listen,
Bro has looked solid. I think
it
he's more of a
was
middle tier guy, but like he's good enough.
exactly.
And I believe Jonah Tong will be fine in time.
Mhm.
I think he got rushed unfortunately because like the situation they were kind of
Yeah.
hamstrung there. I mean, they could have put him in AAA sooner, I thought too, because he was dominating AA all year. I don't know why they waited so long to put him in
And
A.
so here's why I think the Mets have one shot, only one shot. They have one shot to figure out who they're going to bring in because right now they're in a tough spot. Guys are going to get traded. I think Sanga's going to get traded. I think Manaya's going to get traded. There's going to be some trades. Here's why. You got Christian Scott coming back. He was a dog when he was pitching, right? Nasty. Loved his stuff. You have him coming back. You have the three guys that you got out there this year. They're gonna, McLean, he earned himself a roster spot. Sproat earned himself a roster spot. Tong has to prove something to me in spring training that he's adjusted. Um, but the Mets have some young pitching that's going to be here for the foreseeable future, which is why they didn't invest heavy in guys long term because of that. I think the issue was not the Mets needed to sign better pitchers. They needed to evaluate the minor leagues, and they should have either called up McLean or called up Sproat earlier than they did. What you think?
I agree with you 100%. So like first of all, Tom should not have been in Double A as long as he was. He was the
No,
best pitcher in the minor league baseball. Like I don't know why he was in Double A the whole year.
he should have had more burn in
Yeah,
Syracuse. I agree.
and then McLean, they waited way too long. I don't know
To
what they
call him
were
up.
thinking there. Sproat was kind of up and down. Like he didn't look good in the beginning, so that one I understand a little more because like they kind of had to see if he got himself together, and he did. He didn't start the year well, but he figured it out. So
Exactly.
I think the biggest mistake was McLean not being sooner, and then Tong not being in AAA way sooner was probably
Yeah.
where they really dropped the ball, I would say.
And when
But
you
and or should you have packaged some of those guys to try to get a legitimate starting pitcher on the staff that could be
that's
like
an
an ace
option.
or something?
I was
That's
just
an
about to go
option
there.
this off
That's an
season.
option.
That
That's an
is an
option this
option.
offseason that, hey, look, we like some of them, but we don't like all of them. Like, I can see Sproat get traded
He's
if
a
they want
decent
to.
trade piece. I feel like McLean's the only one that's untouchable in my opinion. I feel like
Right.
he's not going to get traded.
I wouldn't trade Tong, though.
I don't think you
I
should because
wouldn't.
the value's probably lower than what you would want after how he ended the season. That's part of the reason. But I still think he's fine, and I've seen him a
I
lot.
like his tenacity.
I've spoken with him a lot, and I
Yeah.
do believe he's gonna figure it out. He's a very smart dude. Like he's gonna figure it out. He only had a handful of MLB starts. I think he can prove in spring training that it'll be a little bit different. I actually do think that's a smart way to play it with him.
And I like his tenacity. Going back to that, I like his tenacity. I like his
His
attitude.
attitude's good.
It's perfect. He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. I just think, again, there's no reason why these guys are having success in AAA. And this goes for both hitting coach and pitching coach. There's no reason why these guys are having success in AAA and then they come back to the major league club and they look and they look out of place. That should never ever be the case. Now it happens to other ball clubs too. That's happened a lot. I'm pretty sure it's happened with the Yankees as well. But there's no way, man, that the Marlins should have even gotten the chance. I think the way he managed the Saturday game and the Sunday game, he should have managed with that urgency on Friday, and he didn't. And I hate
Yeah.
that. That's the only thing I would
Yeah,
say about
Friday.
Mendoza
Yeah, why
that
was
really
Friday
irked me.
seems really lax for some reason. I don't know why there wasn't more
Way too, and
urgency.
they had a 2-run lead. You should have listen. I understand you wanted to go with him a little bit longer, but you had David Peterson waiting, or you had whoever waiting. You should
Yeah,
have
because Sproul was
managed.
only at 60 pitches, but he was going to hit hard. So I
You should have
understand why.
managed with that
I
urgency.
get why he was pulled because he was going to hit hard.
Listen,
So like,
Manaya walked 2 and he took him out, which was the right move. So it's like, and those runs came to cross. Now look, there has to be better management of the bullpen. He has to be better with that. He has to be better with that. He needs to hold himself accountable to that. There needs to be some accountability. First, Steve Cohen took that accountability, and I appreciate him for that because that's exactly how an owner should do it. And I know a lot
yes,
of Yankee fans were, joking with him. No, okay, now go away, disappear. Like no, because Yankee fans, I can name a bunch of times on my hands where Yankee fans, and you can attest to this, Julian. There were a bunch of Yankee fans like, "Where's Hal? Why Hal
yeah,
isn't talking?
it happens
Where
all the
is he?
time.
Where what? Why is he not
It
speaking
happens.
up? Why?"
It's yeah, because like it's a lose lose situation because like if they say something, they're gonna use it against them. If they don't say something, they're gonna say they don't care. And Hal cares more than people think, and
Exactly, but he needs to show
people
that.
have told me that
He needs to show that.
he's actively like paying attention to what's going on. And the yacht jokes are like old and recycled. Like that's I mean yeah, he's
But
wrecking
that's
his yachts,
criticism that
but
he
like yeah.
opens. That's criticism that he opens himself up to when you don't show up to the ballpark to do press conferences when you need to do them.
Yeah, that's the thing. He should show up a little more often, I would
Steve
say.
Cohen, I've seen it with my 2 eyeballs. He's
I've
been
seen him a
out
couple
there.
times.
He's shown up.
I've seen him multiple times as
Right.
well.
And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm sure he has private conversations with Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo. Hey guys, let's turn it up here a little bit.
Yeah, he
And
does.
he's talking to them about that.
He
I can
does.
promise you he
I agree.
does.
I know him. He's really close to Lindor. I know he's in Lindor's
Exactly.
ear.
So listen, I will say this. I'm gonna leave my last final thought here. The Mets, if the Mets that 7-game losing streak that they had in September was a 7-game winning streak, we would not be having this conversation. The Yankees won their last 8 games before the season was done.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the Mets had so many chances. Think about the series
They
with the
beat.
Think
Listen,
about the series with the Reds. If you win the series with the Reds, then you have the tiebreaker.
and you want exactly now. You want to know what upsets me even more about that? It's okay, it's fine because listen, the Dodgers were 3-3 against the Reds. But I'll tell you this. The Mets showed they could beat the Cubs. The Mets showed that they can beat the Padres. The Mets
Yeah, they
showed that
did.
they can sweep the Phillies. The Mets showed that they can beat the Dodgers in a series. The Mets beat every single team that's in the postseason right now for the National League. That's what upsets me.
Yeah, because if you look at it, they didn't handle their business against shit teams. Like they lost the series to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That can't happen. Like
Twice.
and yeah, that cannot happen. Washington Marlins, like I think they were 14 and 15 against them or something. I think that was before the final week, and so maybe that ended at like 15 and 17, which is why the Mets are sitting home. And the Mets played good against good teams. We saw it. We did see it. We both
To
saw it all
prove it
year.
exactly and so
That's
that's
what
why
makes
when
it more
people
frustrating.
so
Exactly.
anybody who's out there saying, listen, if the Mets they didn't deserve it because they
They
lost
didn't
games that they should
deserve,
have won.
and the Reds gave them a shot yesterday too. That's what makes it even worse.
Exactly. But I'll say this, if they would have gotten in, they would have had a chance.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody can tell me that the Mets, they would have been overmatched. They would have won. They beat the Padres late in the season. They beat the Cubs late in the season. Who else is there? The Brewers. They went out there, and that was the team that they struggled against, but they beat them at home when they were at
But
home,
they beat them in the playoffs last year,
and
so
they
there's
beat them in the
that.
playoffs last year.
Even
So
though it's
that
a
was
different team this year, the only thing
exactly.
is, I would tell you this. In my opinion, I think the Dodgers will win the worst case scenario for you guys because that's like the toughest matchup you would ask
I don't
for.
think so. Here's why I tell you I don't think so.
I'm
It's because
curious.
I think it would have been very evenly matched. Now, think about it, right? You would have had McLean go game one. He was going to go against Shohei Ohtani game one. They would have
Yeah.
had Blake Snell going game two, and then they would have had Yamamoto game
Yeah,
two.
they did Snell one, Otani three. I thought they changed their plans. Like it's Snell one, Otani's three
But
now
if you
this
would have had
season,
Snell, Ohtani,
and
and you would have had
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto. Those would have been
Yes.
the three pitchers that the Mets would have saw and that they would have faced. And I'll tell you right now, they would have. It would have been tough. Of course, they would have struck out. The starters probably would have had like 7 strikeouts, 10, almost 9 strikeouts. But the Mets would have fought. They would have competed because they showed that. They did it against
Yeah.
Imanaga. They did it. They competed a little bit before they got blown out on that game two against the Cubs. So they proved that they could beat the Cubs. They proved that they could beat a lot of the teams that they played against in the regular season. They showed it against the Dodgers as well. It really just frustrates me that certain things just didn't fall the way they should have. I think
Yeah.
I think Mania wasn't as healthy as he would have liked to be. Um, and that hamstring, even though at the end of the season he admitted it, like, oh, yeah, I wasn't the same after the hamstring. Then you should have took more time. Those are the things that, like, I get it. As an athlete, you want to be out there, you want to compete, you want to show that, listen, I'm not a quitter, I'm not going to give up on my team, I want to be there for them. But you got to know your body, man. If you ain't
Yeah.
got it, take a seat. They could have called up the young guys and let you rehab.
I know. I hate when players do that. And you have two situations that resonate with me. Clark Schmidt was pitching with a hurt elbow. Now he needs Tommy John. So why couldn't he just not pitch? Like if he was feeling
And they
something.
should have never, ever. And I understand they needed to make a decision, and they were paying Montas a lot of money. They should have figured out a way. Okay, listen, his elbow's not right. His this is not right. That is not right. They could have came up with something they could have found because he wasn't pitching right. He wasn't pitching good in his rehab assignments. They should have called up McLean, Sproat, whoever in that time
Yeah,
and let that happen.
Montas smoked you guys a few. He cost you guys a couple games too. Yeah, that's a
You know what
good
I'm
point as
saying?
well.
So
He gave you
yes,
guys no shot not a couple
that
times.
contract should have gone to Jose Quintana. I agree with that. That I agree with. I don't think that they should have went after Cedric Mullins, but I understand that the White Sox were asking a lot for Luis Robert,
And he's injury prone.
and he's injury prone. So it's like, yes, okay, then why didn't you go after Harrison Bader?
Yeah, that could have worked. I mean,
Bro, you saw it as a Yankee fan. I saw it as a Met fan at the end of last season.
Bader
Yes,
plays in October.
he does, but he didn't play for the Mets in October.
Yeah, And now watch him do it for the Phillies because he's on fire with the Phillies. So that's
Right,
gonna be
but
another
people.
kick. That's gonna be another kick in the nuts,
But what
unfortunately.
upsets me is Met fans draw this blind eye to like, hey, yo, y'all forgot that Harrison Bader lost his job to Tyrone Taylor,
Which is embarrassing.
and he caused that. No one else. That was him. They gave him his fair share of games to go out there and play and to go out there and keep that center field job. And he had a shitty second half. He played like crap. So I mean, we can't ignore that. But listen, it is
Yeah,
what it
bro,
is.
it's crazy.
I
But hold
think
up.
I think they should have gave not Logan, Drew Gilbert a shot. They should have gave him a shot before they traded him.
I
I
thought
think
that
they
was
should
a
have saw what
bad
he
trade
had.
for. Why'd they give up so much for Rodgers? I don't understand that trade either. I didn't like
They
that move.
well, if you ask me, I think they should have gave up maybe one of those infielders that they
Yeah,
had for
probably.
him,
Yeah.
but they weren't going to want to do it. So I'm like, well, it is what it is. But hey, Julian, I appreciate you inviting me, man. I love having this conversation, talking shop here, man.
Let me try to see if I can fix this thing really quick. Hold on. I wanted to like do my parting shots, but I don't know. Let me see if I can do it. Give me
Yeah.
2 seconds. I'll be like 1 minute. It says on the thing that the one source is maximized, so I can't get my camera back. I don't know what happened. Some setting got switched randomly. I have no idea how it happened. I don't know how to fix it right now. But if I go in and go back out, maybe it will work. Let's see, because the stream will still go on. Hold up.
You can
Oh
try
wait,
that.
actually no. I don't know if that's worth it. I can't risk losing it. Fuck. Yeah, I can't fuck it. Damn
Yeah,
it.
you're probably gonna have to do it audio.
Yeah, alright, whatever. So, yeah, you can't even see my thing. What the hell? You can't even see my name.
I think it did it make me like the
I don't know what happened, dude. Something weird took place.
I don't know. I don't have no other settings here that I can
I
oh wait,
don't.
wait, wait. No, I just see me.
I'm not sure what happened, man. I actually think I have a solution here. Hold on. It'll be funny. I think I can fix it quickly. Yeah, this restream is fun, but it's giving me fits sometimes. There was an audio issue midstream one time, and then there was like, an issue with let me see if I could do this here. I think I could fix this. I just need like I have one idea to kind of do it. It's gonna be unconventional, but it might work. If I could just get like a decent photo, maybe. Like that's what I'm trying to do. And then I could just like put it in there as like the screen, maybe. So let me see what I can do here. Yeah, everyone again. I apologize for this. I don't know why this region is being so finicky, but it works well, and then it just doesn't. Like, I have no idea. I think sometimes I touch buttons by mistake on my computer, and it does something, but like I don't know. It's very odd. It's extremely odd for sure. Yeah. Damn it. I'm trying to see, but okay. The Yankees stuff with Soto, like he's definitely eating some crow for saying that like he thought the Mets gave him a better chance to win and the Yankees are in the playoffs and he's not. Like, how do you feel about that? And like, how he's gonna? What do you think he's gonna do this off season? Like, how do you think he's gonna try to regroup for next? He didn't play bad, but like, I don't know. Like, I think he's gonna miss Starling Marte too. By the way, I think that's gonna be a big deal when leaves.
You said
Like, how do you feel
you
about
said you
Soto
said
and the whole
Soto.
Yeah, how do you feel about Soto, the whole Yankees thing, saying he thought like the Mets gave him a better chance to win, and now like Yankees are in the playoffs and they're not. So and now he's getting a lot of shit for that.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't. And look, and I'm gonna speak to this again. I'm gonna remind people, right? And all credit to the Yankees because they needed to
And
do
we
what they
still
did at the
don't
end of
know,
the season, right?
what the Yankees will do. Maybe it's an early exit, maybe, and then either team will
Exactly. And
win
they
a World
still have to
Series.
play the Red Sox. And
But
again,
they had a better season, obviously. There's no
they
question about
did.
that. No matter what happens, it was a better year for them. But
They did. But again, he didn't say that they weren't going. He didn't say that they weren't going to win at all. He said that the Yankees do have chances to win, but it's in the immediate future, not long term. right?
But
So
that's still
he's like
questionable too because
The
the Yankees
Yankees
probably
will
should have been
win a
better.
championship in the next 5 years, but he said the Mets have more opportunities later on down the line. Now, when you look at it at the end of the year, he's not entirely wrong. Now, I get it. The pitching staff completely abandoned the Mets, right? But if they make some adjustments, they still have good young pitchers out there ready to go out there and compete, right? Now they just got to figure out what they're going to do with their veterans. Then you factor in that they have the number, again, according to ESPN, the number one minor league system.
Yeah, it's up there. I don't know if it's exactly one. I mean, it's in the
It's up there.
conversation
It's
though. It's
up
up
there. It's
there.
at
I do
least
agree.
top
And we
three.
saw the chips and
So
stuff, so it is
it's
top three. You're right.
they have a top farm system. They do have the guys in place. They're superstars with Lindor and Soto, Brandon Nimmo. I think he still has another good 2 to 3 years left
Yeah,
in
the
him.
8 years might be rough though. Like the back of it
No,
might look pretty
of
ugly.
course. But I mean, at the end of the day, Nimmo at DH wouldn't be such a bad problem at the end of his career. So who
Yeah, it's
knows, right?
true.
He could still go back to his on base days early on in his career. So
Okay, you're gonna laugh at this. Let's see if it works. I hope it does. No, it didn't. What the fuck? I'm sorry for my language. I don't
but
curse
yeah,
and
I
stuff. But
mean,
like,
yes, it looks dumb now because the Mets got bounced out. They collapsed. Do I think this is, I'll say this. Do I think this is the 2007 collapse or the 2008 collapse? No.
it's
I
not
think this
that.
is
It's
a
not
different,
as bad.
it's
It was
it's
a
a
deep.
different kind of
It
collapse.
was like a fresh wound that was cut, and you just kept pouring salt and salt on it. It just wasn't getting. It
Right.
just kept getting worse and worse. It wasn't a quick one like the one with other times.
Like I think
But
the Tigers losing the division when they were up by as many
yeah,
games as they were,
that's
that's
a.
bad.
I don't want to get
But
into
they
that.
still made the playoffs, so
Yeah,
you
they
can't call
somehow
it a
figured it
collapse.
out. But like, yeah, that's the worst collapse of all time though for the
Yeah,
division.
it
So
was. From a division
it is a
standpoint, it is.
collapse. The Tigers didn't completely collapse because they still backed into the playoffs, but they had the worst division collapse of all time. So they still did collapse, but it wasn't a full blown one, I guess. Even though
Exactly.
it's actually crazy because it's the biggest collapse in history, but they still made the playoffs somehow.
They did. They did.
And we'll
And
see. Maybe they'll wake up. I don't have a lot of confidence in them doing that, but we'll see.
And all I could say as a Mets fan, if you ask me as a Mets fan, I'll say I will rue the day that Terry Francona decided to want to come back and manage because he got tired of taking walks every day. So
Yeah, it's tough.
the fact that he came back to manage the Reds, I don't like it, but congratulations to them, man. Listen, you earn it, man. You got to tip your cap.
Yeah, and Francona was a Yankee killer, so I've had some
Yeah,
feelings about him from back in the day as well. But he's one of the best managers you'll ever see.
he
So
is.
he somehow got the Reds to the playoffs, and a lot of people didn't expect it. Maybe some did. The Reds played well at the end of the year, and Terry's also very good in his last game. He's like 17-6 in like game 162, even though he lost yesterday. But all right, we'll end this soon. I just want you to give your postseason predictions since I gave mine yesterday. I couldn't get a picture on here, unfortunately, to even make this look presentable. So, yeah.
So my postseason prediction is going
Get
to
me off of
be
this.
I have the Dodgers winning. I have the Cubs beating the Padres. I have right. Those are the two National League games, right? And then I have the Red Sox beating the Yankees. Sorry. Um, and then I have the Tigers beating the Cleveland Guardians. And then in the DS, I have the Dodgers beating the Phillies, even though I think the Phillies can compete, but it all really just gonna come down to Bryce Harper. I mean, that's the engine offensively. So is Schwarber, and they have to have good postseasons. If they don't, they're gonna go home. I don't care what Harrison Bader does, they're gonna go home. Um, then you look at the right, so we got Cubs and we have Brewers. Brewers, I think it's gonna be Dodgers Brewers again, going to the Wayback Machine 2018. Ooh, like the rhyme there, Wayback Machine 2018. And I got the Dodgers going back to the World Series. And for the American League, I have the Red Sox beating the Blue Jays. And then I have the Mariners beating the Tigers. I have the Mariners beating the Red Sox. Mariners, Dodgers, World Series.
It's probably at least. Yeah.
Uh,
So
so you got
okay.
that?
Yeah, I got you. I agree with the Mariners. I have them in the World Series as well.
Yeah. You said Mariners. I think you said Mariners, Phillies, right?
Yes, I'm going. I think the Phillies do pull the upset with the Dodgers. I
It's a
think they
yeah,
do it.
I think it can be 50-50 coin cost. I think the
I have
winner of
Yankees
that
going down
series
to ALCS, by the way, in case people don't remember. I say
to
Yankees
the
down.
Mariners,
Yeah,
payback for 2001. Wow, okay. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, it's whoever wins the series between the Phillies and the Dodgers are going to go to the
and
World
then I do
Series.
have Brewers in the CS too. And then I'm different with you on Cubs Padres. I think it's Padres.
I think the Cubs have
And
I just
then
think the Cubs have nothing to lose as opposed to the Padres, and they made all those moves, and they do have the better bullpen, but I do think that the Cubs have a more exciting, which is weird to say, but I just feel like the Cubs are more exciting on offense.
it's a coin flip. We'll see. It's a wild card series.
I
All of
think
them
I
are
think the
coin
MVP
flips.
of that series is going to be Seiya Suzuki.
Saya's been killing it.
Seiya Suzuki's going to dominate that series. I'm sorry. I saw him hit 2 home runs against Nolan McLean, and the second one was a ball inside, and he had to turn on that after he hit the changeup. Um, After he hit the changeup down the middle, so to adjust that way and hit that fastball or that whatever it was inside, because it was inside and it was a ball. If he would have let it go, it would have been a ball. To hit that out, way rolls deep. Yeah, Seiya Suzuki's going to be the MVP of that series, and they do got Kyle Tucker. Oh, and I'm gonna tell y'all something right here, right now. Bring me Kyle Tucker to the Mets.
Oh, there it is. It's gonna be King Tut with the Mets, maybe.
King Tucker with the Mets. Write it down. That is my dark horse. That is my
Because
hot
I
take.
thought it would be Yankees for Tuck, but the way Belly's playing, they might not need Tuck,
Yeah,
honestly.
listen, put Brandon Nimmo in center field. Let him play, until the wheels fall off. I don't trust anybody else, man.
Yeah, I can see the
And
Yankees
I'm not going to
maybe
give
trying for
Grisham all that
Tucker.
kind of money. Listen,
If the
I'm not doing
Yankees,
it.
but here's the thing: what if the Yankees let Belly and Grisham walk? Then they go for Tuck. The Yankees still could go for him, maybe.
Then if I'm the
I
Mets,
won't
I'm
completely rule it out.
okay. So if that happens, then the Mets have to go get Cody Bellinger.
Bellinger would be a nice fit for the Mets
It'd be a
too.
beautiful fit because he
Because then,
plays center field.
if you let Alonso walk, you can have Belly play first. That could be a first base replacement as well.
And I think the Yankees and the Mets are going to compete for that. Now, even though here's my thought though, I think the Yankees should sign Pete Alonso.
I know that's a crazy one. I've been seeing it circulating a little bit. I'm not in on it, but like I've been thinking on MLB Network talking about
Listen,
it.
you build a lineup.
Well, we actually do need more righties, kind of, and Goldschmidt, because now we're opposite.
Goldschmidt is on a 1 year
Yeah, no,
deal.
he's done. No, no, that's what I'm saying.
He's
Well,
cooked.
no, I know. Except against lefties, he can still do that at least.
You
But
get Pete Alonso for that. I
yeah,
mean,
no. Look. I'm not saying to keep Goldschmidt. I know he's done at the end of the year.
of
What I
course.
was saying was that the Yankees used to be so right-handed heavy, and that was switch to being so left-handed heavy. So now it has to switch again. Probably we
Yeah.
probably need another righty and stuff.
Listen, and when you think about the top of the lineup, Jazz, I don't know why they took him out the top of the lineup. Maybe you could speak to that more. But
Yeah, I can. I think it's because his on base isn't that good.
right,
I think
okay.
that's the reason why he wasn't
So
at the
then they need
top.
to fit. Listen, Lombard Jr. He hits lefty. Oh
No,
dang.
well, he's righty,
Oh, he's righty. Okay.
but I mean, Lombard's like a
They
year
need to
away
let him
still.
develop. Do you
Yeah,
agree?
I don't want to rush him either. I think
Because they
maybe,
rushed Volpe. They rushed him, and that
yeah,
was bad. That
maybe
was a bad
Lombard.
move.
Yeah, maybe Lombard late next year, but it could be early 27 maybe as well.
It's
So
gonna it's gonna be fun. Kyle Tucker, to me, I feel like the Mets should leave no stone unturned. I don't care, man. Listen, if 340 million didn't do it, I want to see what 400 million can do.
just keep going up. Eventually, it'll
Listen, at
work.
the end of the day,
I mean, if they could, why not? And like,
at
look,
the end of the day,
if
what's stopping them?
Alonso gets cleared, then that's like almost a clean swap because Tucker won't make too much more AAV in Alonso. In
Exactly.
theory, so like, hey, look, if you want to take Tucker and get rid of Alonso, like I'm all for that.
And now
I'm
listen,
not gonna
listen,
say no to that.
listen. And if I'm the Mets, get Tucker, and get Bellinger. Let Bellinger play first.
That
Let
would be
Tucker play outfield,
that would be
and we
wild.
good to go.
Yeah, the Mets would be loaded if they did that somehow.
Listen, you can have Brandon Nimmo DH, and I don't get. Listen,
You would have a lot of lefties though if you did that, but they're good lefties.
good lefties, situational hitting, my friend. It's
Bellinger's actually been really good with the situational hitting
That's
this
what
year.
I'm saying, and the Mets saw it firsthand, bro.
And
I,
Tucker, I don't know how good he's been of late because I feel like his year's been a little disappointing since he started getting banged up. But he started the year well. I think he'll be fine next year when he's fully healthy. I'm sure. Tucker's he's a 5-tool player, so like I still think he's gonna get a lot of money still. I don't think it's gonna be
let's
as
see.
much. I don't think it's gonna be as much as he thought though. I think it's gonna be less than what we were projecting for him based off this year.
But I think the Mets want that action, though. I think they
They
want that
might.
belly
We'll
action.
see. We'll see. Or Grisham. Watch
They
for
need
Grisham
center. They need
too.
a center fielder who's going to give them some consistency. And look, if Belly did it all for the Yankees, right? He played left, he played right, he played center, he played first. He did it all. And the Mets need that kind of versatility in someone, and he fits the bill, man. And if you putting him versus Grisham, I'm going with Belly, man.
Yeah, me too. Well, I just told you the same thing. If I have to choose between the two of them, I want the Yankees to bring Bellinger back. So I'm in lockstep with you there.
Yeah. And they
So
can go. Listen, they can go for Kyle Tucker. It'll work for them. And they put Judge back in center field. Listen, what is Judge going to tell you? Hell no.
yeah, if it's for Tuck, you put Judge back in center field.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So the Yankees could still be in it. You're right. I wouldn't count them out.
Listen,
for Tucker.
I'm not gonna sit out here and go automatically. Yeah, he's gonna go back with the Cubs. We don't know that.
I don't
Soto
think
didn't go back to the
I
Yankees.
actually don't. Oh yeah, I could see him leaving. I mean, we'll see.
If I'm the Mets, listen, you find a way to trade for Jaron Duran. You got to do
Now
something.
that would be crazy. I like the
gotta do
Duran
something.
Mets connection, but
You gotta do
I'm
something.
going to warn you of a team that wants him more than you guys. I think the Padres want him bad, but I don't know what they have to give for
So
him.
then 3-team trade. Give us Merrill Kelly. Padres will get him, and then the Red Sox get whatever they want because they already got outfielders.
Oh, you mean Jackson Merrill?
Jackson Merrill. That's what I mean.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. Okay, you could give your your signs off. Like tell everyone your podcast, like your reporting outlets and like everything.
So you can find me on X at Rashid McDonald. You could also find me at _ Mets Life, or you just search up Mets Life. You'll find us there. You'll find us on YouTube at Mets Life, TikTok at Mets Life, Rashid McDonald at Instagram, and we're gonna be doing some big things with my guy Julian, and just stay tuned, look out for it, but find me wherever you get your social medias at, and let's go Mets. We good to go. I don't know what happened. All right.